You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Zinget Solutions, Imaging Services, Posture Screen, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Bax Max, Chiro Thin, Rhino Coaching Systems, Chiro Moguls, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Health USA, Local Gold, and Go Get Talks. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 121 of Chiro Hustle. I am Luke. Here's Jim.
So today we have the opportunity of interviewing Dr. Roger Sahoury. And if you want to learn more about how you can start chiropractic and not even know how to speak English when you come to this country and how to thrive long term, stay tuned. All right, Dr. Roger, we are live here on the Chiro Hustle podcast. You are episode number 121.
All right.
So we've been rocking for over 2 years on this.
This is great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. And, you know, as I've gotten to know you more, you have a pretty impactful chiropractic story. I know that, you know, so many people that are listening to our podcast are going to say, wow, Dr. Roger Sahoury has an amazing story. So would you mind just telling people a little bit about your chiropractic story and what influenced you to become a chiropractor?
Absolutely. So first, if I can just step it a little bit before, just to, you know, pre-frame the story a little bit about who I am is, you know, I came to this country not speaking a word of English, and, you know, coming to the United States of America to have this American dream, so to say. My father was a construction man, old school mentality, busted his butt every single day, go to work for his family, right? So showing by example of, you know, look, you can do everything. You know, you can make the impossible become possible. You can come from another country, not speak a word of English, and live the life that you desire and be able to take care of your family and just live for your family and God, of course, right? So here we are, and we're going throughout life. And my father used to take me to work with him until my hands would bleed, right? And I'd come home and my mom would be like, "What you do to our kid? You know, like what you do?" And sorry, man. Things are just ringing over here at the same exact time. I got somebody calling in from Facebook trying to call me from overseas at the same exact time. Sorry about that. It's buzzing in my ear. But so my father would hear, my hands would bleed. I come home, my mother would say, "What are you trying to do? Kill our kid?" And my father would say, "No. What I'm trying to show our son is that he doesn't need to do this type of work. It's what I did because this is what I learned. This was the trade that was given to me. But I want him to learn that this isn't the type of work. I want him to become a lawyer, a doctor, something that's going to better humanity, right?" And then here I am. Now we fast forward. I am 20 years old, studying to become a medical doctor, right? And one day, me and my friends got out on our motorcycles, and we take a ride down a major highway. And as we're riding down this major highway, my friend suddenly got off this exit and I missed it. I pulled over onto the shoulder of the road. I'm sitting on the shoulder of the road and I look over to my right and I see my friend Mike walk towards me. And as Mike is walking towards me, I see his arms suddenly go up into the sky. His face changes to fright, and whack, I get hit from behind from a car at about 35, 40 miles an hour. I get tossed off my motorcycle, hit the pavement. My flesh literally starts to rip apart. My helmet comes off. I smash my head open. Right here, I'd have plastic surgery because my whole skull was really just ripped open like this. I herniated 6 discs in my spine. I bulged 3, tore triangular fibrocartilage in my wrist. My knee was split open. I mean, it was bad. I was in the hospital. They had me on everything that you needed to do for a crisis situation, right? Painkillers, muscle relaxers, anti-inflammatory steroids. Then what ends up happening is after a few weeks, they say, "Look, it's time for you to go see special surgeons." I go see special surgeons who don't know where to begin with me, and I'm not going to become this experiment. Now, I come out, I go see my orthopedist, my neurologist. They put me on tons of medications, and then they send me to pain management, who's injecting me in my spine, doing all these other modalities. Every single day, I'm face planting my poor mother and father, peeling me up off the ground like a banana peel every single day. I got vice-like migraines. I got post-traumatic stress disorder. I got anxiety. I can't breathe. I'm pain level 0 to 10. I'm at 1,000. Nobody's able to help me. I become so depressed that they put me on antidepressants. and then I become suicidal. And I felt like I was in this big black hole and I couldn't get out, and I was reaching for that light and I just couldn't get there. No matter how much love I had around me, even though I had my mother, my father, my brother, my family around me, loving and supporting me, nobody could understand what I was going through. Nobody could truly understand unless you're there. And as I was this close to taking my life, by the grace of God, I got led to a corrective-based chiropractor who showed me that you're not going to push darkness out by adding more darkness. The healing happens from above down, inside out. And we got to unleash the greatest doctor in the world to allow that power from within inside of you to begin to do that healing. Within 3 months, I had a glimpse of hope, 6 months more. Within 1 year, I regained my light back. I did not choose this profession. It chose me, and it was given to me from our Lord above. So I live in a state of gratitude each and every single day for breathing, for being able to see, for being able to smell, being able to touch, right? I don't live a life of habitude. I live a life of gratitude each and every single day. And it's my mission to empower, to inspire, to educate, to adjust the families in our community, right? In my community. And for me, we create a place of hope where miracles are expected. We guide people in reaching their God-given health potential. That's my mission statement. And look, my purpose is I know that families that are in our wellness center are happier, healthier, and safer than families that are not. So there's no way that I'm not going to spread that message each and every single day. If I can be helped, I know that everybody else in this planet can be helped, because I really felt that there was a moment that it was impossible, right, for me to get better. It was very dark. It was a very dark and treacherous place to live. But, you know, the battle wins starts right here, right? And it's just having that belief that we're not alone in this at all, you know, and that we have somebody who's with us each and every single moment of our lives. And I was led to chiropractic, which is his power.
You know, the story is compelling to me because one of the first things you mentioned there was not being able to speak English. And so many people that are able-bodied and full function and that our English is their first language, they struggle with their own truth. And I think it's it's powerful for you to have gone to work with your dad and to realize that path was something of survival, but it wasn't what you were made for.
Yeah,
you learned from it.
Yep, I did. For sure.
And then through your accident, you realized that chiropractic was something that could help you recover.
That's right. And chiropractic helped my father too. I mean, you know, he had a massive heart attack, you know, and I was picking up on things that his medical doctors didn't. They said, come back in a year. And I said, Dad, I'm really concerned with what I see here. I said, we got some stress running right to the heart. You know, he wasn't listening. He said, look, I'll come in if I have certain ailments going on. But look, right now I feel good, like most Americans, right? They base their health on how they look or how they feel. But heart disease and cancer don't tell you that they're coming based on how you look or how you feel, right? It's how well that body's truly functioning. And we're able to assess to see where there was some subluxations going on in the body that was affecting his health and his life. A month later, my father had a massive heart attack. We nearly lost him. He got put on, you know, many medications, developed drug-induced diabetes. He was existing, not living. And God, he was spending $18,000 a year, roughly somewhere around there on medications. And I had a heart-to-heart with his cardiologist. And then his cardiologist said, listen, son, he's going to have to be on these medications for the rest of his life. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that, right? We got to build his health, not manage his disease, right? And I know MD stands for managing disease. Doctor of chiropractic, doctor of cause, right? So we had to get to the root cause of the problem. And we got to focus on the thoughts, the toxins, the traumas that are going on in that body, you know, that affected him. And we started doing that. My father, within 5 years, regained most of his life back. We got him off his diabetic medications within 3 months, doing my SprintSet energizing weight loss system, right? So, and combined with chiropractic, life flow plus lifestyle equals longer lasting lifespan. And that's what we want to do. We want to live it with health and vitality. And that's exactly what we do each and every day.
You said things there that are very compelling because once again, the hardest people to make an impact on aren't just ourselves, but it's our family members and our loved ones.
That's right.
When you can have that impact on somebody, you can see like the miracle happen inside of them, then, you know, that gives you even more of a purpose to show up and to do things the way that you do them and to help more people. I think that's what I really fell in love about chiropractic because, you know, you guys all have some type of a story of how you got to where you are. And there's been these struggles from where you grow up or, You might have been like a third generation chiropractor and been lost along the way. I don't know, but there's certain things that like compel chiropractors to show up to help more people. And I love that you share that story with us about helping your dad, because so many times, man, people forget their why. They forget why they started it. They lose that in the clutter of their distractions on a day-to-day basis. Right. And they don't really know that when we go back to our big why, that's really why I asked that first question, to open it up to where people kind of know who you are and why you do what you do.
Yeah. Yep. And I do it each and every single day. Right. And it's children are is that piece, you gotta, I always say you can't do the addition model. You got to do the multiplication model, right? Where you got to take on the entire families. You got to get these children under care because it's so crucial. So crucial. I mean, I see it all the time. I mean, I take care of so many children in our practice. And some of them come in, like for example, I'll be adjusting a newborn today that was just born, right? And mom gives me a call. She understands the importance of the baby getting checked. The family's been under care, right? They know that birthing process is traumatic. You're pulling on that baby's neck. Subluxations occur immediately, at that moment in time. That's where the first trauma occurs most of the time. It's so important because we know when you got challenges going on in that upper cervical area, it can lead to things like the auricular infections that many children have, the acid reflux, the allergies, the asthma, the ADD, the ADHD, the anxiety, the Asperger's, and maybe even the autism. And I'm just on what letters? Just the A's, right? I didn't get through the rest of the alphabet. It's so vitally important to get these children checked and keep them running really well. I got 3 children and they are so vibrant and so healthy, right? And they're pure. And we have my daughter today. She was she had this wax museum thing that they were performing at school. And my daughter was one of 2 children that memorized her entire thing. She was Walt Disney. That 2 pages of things, she was able to memorize the entire thing. I was blown away by how well her mind works. All these other kids are reading off the paper, which doesn't mean that they're not smart. They are. But I mean, she just has an ability to grasp things so quickly. And I believe chiropractic kids really have an advantage like that. They really do. And their immune systems are stronger and they're healthier. And they're, as long as you keep taking care of your children, they'll be around a lot longer than we will. They'll be around a lot longer than we will.
So looking over your bio, it looks like you keep pretty busy. Why don't you tell us some of the things that make you unique and how you stand apart from other chiropractors?
Well, I mean, I think that we're all created equal, right? I think that the difference is that I'm willing to go all in, right? I'm willing to go all in. It's like, give you an example. We were at the beach the other day and there was hundreds, thousands of people on the beach, but the water was cold, right? So people are running up to the water, they feel it, and then they start running out, right? And they run in and they run out, and the water was cold. I mean, this was about a month ago, right? And the water was about 35 degrees, 40 degrees, somewhere around there. My wife, and I go like this, my wife go, I'm going in. And she's like, you're going to go in that? I said, yeah, I'm going in. And she's like, all right, let's see. So she takes out her cell phone and she's recording me, and I start doing some Wim Hof breathing, right? And getting myself ready to go in. And then I just go and hear waves coming in and I just go all in. And I'm going into my waist. I mean, I went all in, right? And then I stayed there and I immersed myself in that water and went underneath again. And I was there for, 5 minutes or so. And then I came out and I was like, wow, man, you were in there for a while. I said, yeah. I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go all in, right? And that's how I play. I mean, I play all in. I'm not going to be by the sidelines. Look, if there's a game going on, give me that ball, right? I want to be in it. Me and Jim were having that conversation, as a matter of fact, the other day, and he said the same exact thing to me. And I said, yeah. I said, I want it. I said, I want that ball. I said, because for me, it's, if you're quiet, everybody else is just going to stomp all over you, man. And as chiropractors, if we're going to be around 5, 10, 20, 100, 2,000 years from now, we need to be playing all in. And we need to be stepping up and talking about the greatest power that each individual has within inside of themselves and the natural ways to be able to get that body to run at its best and optimal. And chiropractic is the vehicle, right? I mean, just think about it. How many kids today are on opioids that are end up committing suicide as well, right? Chiropractic is the solution. Chiropractic is the solution. And I'm just talking about one category, right? But everybody should be under chiropractic care. I think it's a crime that they're not under chiropractic care. I really do. And that's the difference between what differentiates me and everybody else, is that I'm willing to do things that other people won't. I'll get up early, and I will get myself immersed into get myself in the right state and doing whatever it takes in order to make it work. And some people are going to love me. Some people are going to be a little, wow, this guy's a little aggressive, a little intimidated. But I promise you, I got the most loving heart in the world. If you just start to understand me, you'll be able to connect with me. Just like my patients, they love me because they know how much love I have for them.
Well, one thing that jumps out to me, I'm really curious about your Energy Buster stress management workshop.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
About like a stress buster. I mean, that's part of my corporate wellness. So I wrote, let's see here. I think I have here's my book right here, right? It's called The Gladiator's Guide to Corporate Health and Wealth. And one of the workshops that they love, and this was an international bestseller, when people told me that I wouldn't even be able to write a book, right? And that there's no way I would become a bestseller. I became an international bestseller in 4 countries because I will do whatever it takes, right, to make it happen. And the Stress Buster workshop and an energy workshop, those are workshops that corporations are into, right? They want to have better energy so that they have more productivity, right? More performance in the workplace. They want to combat stress because they know that stress plays a big role in corporate wellness. But just like it does in corporations, it does for all the people that are walking out there right now, right? And there are different types of stressors, right? You got physical stressors, chemical stressors, emotional stressors. You know, you got the 4 T's, right? Thoughts, toxins, traumas, and technology, right? That's the 4th T, right? Technology. I mean, that's a huge stress today. And you know that it's creating tech neck and tech snack and so on. And we'll teach those different type of principles on how to begin to overcome that and how to get back to your healthiest self.
I think it's important that you're saying these things because we have to become clever on how we approach the marketplace.
Of course.
And we have to find angles that people will let us say, they'll say yes to us.
Yes.
Because in order for us to bridge the gap from not knowing to knowing, we have to get ourselves in front of one to many. And that's something that you've been really effective with. And I wanted to talk about that as well, is you've been on television hundreds of times talking to people about chiropractic, but off camera, we were talking a little bit about how how that came about and how you started this motivation to get more public exposure with chiropractic and to do that through a media like television that would get from not just 1 to 1 like us right now, if we weren't broadcasting this, but 1 to many. So let's talk a little bit about how you took that initial opportunity and how it snowballed effect into where we're at today.
All right. So it all started with me taking care of a child who had autism, right? And the child started to respond really, really well to chiropractic care. And he went from being nonverbal to becoming verbal, right? He was stimming a lot, and then all of a sudden he calmed down tremendously. He wasn't able to sleep. He'd get up through the night and start banging his head, and, you know, a lot of the stimming factors, and it just really just went to a halt. And he just started to shine, you know, like every child should. And I mean, they're shining either way, but he was just, you know, really shining and really moving forward and progressing. And it was just great to see. And his mom had some connections over at a TV studio. And she said, hey, listen, you know, you have just such a great way about you. And, you know, people really need to learn more about you and what you do. And, you know, there was a time where in my practice, I had a 6-month waiting list to come in and see me when I was the only provider in my practice, which was crazy to say. But, you know, I mean, it was just like, and that's why I have multiple doctors now in my practice. But we had a waiting list. It's not like we had to go out, try to even get new patients. We would just keep coming in. People refer like crazy because of the results that we were getting. And she's like, listen, people need to know who you are and what you do. And I said, all right, you know, if you got that opportunity, let me know. I get a phone call and she's like, hey, listen, I got an opportunity for you. She's like, I can get you on TV. And I said, great. What am I going to be talking about? You know, is it going to be talking about, you know, autism? She's like, no, it's going to be about snow shoveling. And I'm like, all right, great. Let's do it. You know? So I started talking about how winter injuries can come about and how to, how to hold a snow shovel properly, how to shovel, how to do your proper stance, how to warm up before you even go outside, what to eat before you go outside, how you should get checked by a chiropractor after, things like that. And then from there, they loved the way that I was communicating on TV. And then CBS started calling me back, and I just started getting on regularly. And then I got onto Fox and NBC and ABC, and then, then I got written up in Forbes, and it just kept going, and it's just been endless ever since. And they'll call me up frequently now.
That's a pretty amazing story. I love the fact that you started, you didn't stop, and now we're doing more amazing stuff with that momentum that you've been able to build for yourself. Just quick, any tips or advice to anybody that's out there that's watching or listening that wants to get those opportunities? What would you tell them to do?
As far as getting onto TV?
Yeah.
Well, number one is if you want to get on TV, you got to look at what relevant news is in the marketplace right now. And if you can do that, then you just send in a press release. I mean, they get tons of them, right? But send in a press release on something that's relevant, and then that'll give you an opportunity, right? And if you can get on the phone with one of the producers, then from there, it'll open up a conversation. I would send them in a video clip of you actually doing a segment of your own. And then if they like you or they like your voice, that's one way to do it. A buddy of mine, Dr. Alex Vidan, has a series of showing you how to do that as well. I decided not to create that product at the moment. I got my hands in too many other things. So I always, defer over to friends of mine, and Alex is a good buddy of mine. So he's got something like that you can utilize. But yeah, the tip that I just gave you, I think would work really well. And if you're going to be on TV, use props, so always use props. They love props, if you're just speaking, you're just a talking head, it doesn't work as well. That's why I picked up the book and showed you the book, right? It's a prop, right? So using props is key.
So do you have any favorite motivational quotes or mantras that keep you fired up every day?
Yeah. All I need is within me now, right? It's something that I say, all the time. All I need is within me now. All I need is within me now. All I need is within me now, because it is, right? Because it is. And when you live with that type of mantra each and every single day, and it lives within your voice, and whenever you get faced with adversity or challenges, just begin to enjoy the journey, and understanding that with every great sunshine, there's always a great storm, right? And that's how I live my life. And trust me, I go through challenges. I'm going through challenges right now in life, right? And I'm going through it, and I'm just going through the blessings and the journeys of it, and looking for the gifts in all of it, because I know that when I come out of it, I'm going to have massive growth, right? I'll have massive growth, and I'll have something else to teach the world. So that's where I stand with that.
Well, I love that. I was having a hike about 3 months ago with a friend of mine out here in Colorado, and she had been practicing for 20 years. And she was going through like an identity deal. And I'm like, you are enough. You are a 1%er of the world, and you have everything inside of you of greatness. As you just have to give yourself permission to go give that to people, and to figure out how to communicate that to the people that you love.
That's right.
And now she's off the charts now.
That's right. You got to fly, right? You got to first love yourself, right? And that's what FLY stands for. And when you begin to do that, you can just soar as high as you want, man.
The answers are deep inside of you.
Yeah. I said this to my, I do this with my kids. It's like, if it's raining outside, I don't want them to hide, hey, run, it's raining. I'm like, let's go outside and play in the rain, right? Embrace the storm, embrace it, because it's more fun out there. The first or second drop might bother you, but after you get just immersed in water, it's just fun, right?
Bro, my favorite hikes are the ones that when it's snowing out, because nobody else will come out of the house and go out to the trails. Yeah. I love it when I can go out there and hike and it's snowing, because it scared all the other people away.
Yep.
So how do you think the world would change if every corporation took your workshops?
Well, workshops, first of all, I think it would be impactful for all of them, right? But workshops is only one component, right? I think that daily connections are really what make a huge impact. So I have a vehicle to teach people on how to get into chiropractic as well. And many times a lot of people are looking for weight loss, right? So I created something called SprintSet Energizing Weight Loss System. And with SprintSet Energizing Weight Loss System, I have coaching and monitoring every single day. So we're monitoring people, their moods every day, their energy levels every day, their sleep every day, right? Their weight every day. If they fall off track, we got somebody there who's responding to them, who's getting them right back on track. They know exactly what to eat, when to eat, how to eat it, right? That becomes a culture, a way of life. They start learning their preferred foods, their cautionary foods that they should avoid for a lifetime. There are many programs out there that work for weight loss, but are they sustainable for a lifetime? There are a lot that'll help you lose a lot of weight really quick. And then what happens? You gain it all back, right? There are some that you don't lose any weight, right? I mean, there's all different programs. I mean, Weight Watchers, they say that you have to do it 90, people have done it 19 times on average, right? And we know that's our leading weight loss company in the country, but they're doing it 19 times. Is it sustainable? We want something that's sustainable. And that's how I built SprintSet. And while they go through SprintSet, we have them have a chiropractic examination once they get through a certain point in SprintSet, and get them checked by whoever their chiropractic provider is, so that they could at least have their nervous system checked, see how well it's running, and then see what the best route, what plan of action is for them there. So now you got lifestyle, which we talked about, right? Which is the SprintSet, which is going to help detoxify, eliminate any free radical damage, get rid of cellular inflammation, get them to lose weight, get rid of that visceral fat, improve their metabolic age, and so on. And that's lifestyle. And then we got life flow, which is chiropractic. You take lifestyle plus life flow, you get a longer and healthier lasting lifespan. And that's how I live my life, man. It's always, all right, what could I create also that's going to teach people about chiropractic, right? And that's what it's all about, man. It's about the tick, and that's really what it's about. And I wanted to create a weight loss system that was completely 100% aligned with chiropractic, and that's why I developed that.
So yeah, touching back on chiropractic, where do you see the profession heading in the next 20 years?
Well, I believe that if everybody will do what we're doing right now and have a voice, that we will be heading in the right direction, right? But we need people to be all in and not stay by the sidelines. And I'm going to encourage and say, chiropractors who are listening to this, step into your greatness, because you have it within you. You just need to believe it, okay? Step into your greatness, and it's okay if you don't sound perfect. It doesn't matter how well you sound from the start. No one sounded so great when they first started. I promise you, the first time I did a dinner talk, right? No one signed up. The second time I did it, I had more people signed up. And now I get, 100% of the people coming in for nervous system evaluation, chiropractic examinations, right? But the first time I did it, I wasn't the greatest at it. And you have to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere, right? And that's how you get great.
And you're spot on. I think right now, the more that we do leverage our access to our media that is at our fingertips, we're basically taking resources that are available and we're using it for a motivator to get the idea out there. And what that is the big idea. And that's BJ Palmer's work. And right now, honestly, if BJ Palmer were to have podcast or live streaming, he'd be doing it 10 times a day. He would. And the thing is that he would create his own podcast show, and he'd hire anchors to run the podcast for him, because that's what he did back in the day when radio happened. And I think that that's where we're at right now, is the media age and the technology age. And you said the 4 T's: thoughts, traumas, toxins, and technology.
Today, technology, yeah.
But the reason that it's a problem is because people are on it. So if we want to get to where people are paying attention to, then we have to go to where they're at, is on the technology.
You got to meet them where they're at to take them where you want to take them. Right?
And
Connect to direct, right? And when I say that, it's because people they're zombies today. And it's about getting them out of that and showing them the truth and showing them how well they can be functioning and operating and living a joyful life that's filled with joy and gratitude and just fun, right? And that's what it's about.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Zinget Solutions, Imaging Services, Posture Screen, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Bax Max, Chiro Thin, Rhino Coaching Systems, Chiro Moguls, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Health USA, Local Gold, and Go Get Talks. Let's hustle.
Little off topic, but one of the most impactful art exhibits I've ever seen, it's still etched into my mind, was they were hanging trees. And what they did is they took these old pictures of where people were actually hung, and the spectacle of the arena of people there, but they removed the victim. Okay. And then I was watching like technology, and I was like looking at these like scenarios where there would be people on their technology, and they would remove the technology in a room full of people, and how there was a similarity between the victim and the actual posture of the spectacle of people looking at this.
Yeah.
Where now we've removed the spectacle and now it's here. And now chiropractors all over the place know that when people are in this posture, this is their spectacle, it's ruining their health. And we know that by every inch forward, we lose 30% of our vital lung capacity. And over time, if we have that type of trained behavior and type of trained physiology, we're going to have less vital lung capacity. That I don't know anybody that would raise their hand to say, yeah, I want that.
That's right.
So
That's right.
it's
I mean,
impactful.
if you look at our children today, I mean, how many of these children, right? I mean, that's all they're on is technology today.
Mm-hmm.
Technology. And they're all looking like this. They're all looking down. They're all doing this all day long. And they're taking their spines that should have an arc of life like a banana, right? I mean, if you take a banana and you straighten it out, what happens to the banana, right?
Pushes the fruit.
That's right, man. That's right. And you take a spine that's supposed to come back like a banana and you straighten it out, you're causing a lot of damage, right? A lot of decay, a lot of degeneration, osteoarthritic activity. I've seen a lot of that on children today. It's crazy, mind-blowing.
I know. Osteo fights on 12-year-olds.
That's right. Should we see that? No, never.
No, not unless there's some huge trauma.
Yep.
And the body like yours is coming back from a place of destruction to a place of repair.
That's right, brother. That's right.
So let's talk a little bit more about technology. What do you like to use to stay in touch with your audience and maybe your patient base?
Okay. Well, I mean, one way to keep them connected is to use a text messaging platform in order to be able to communicate, because that's how people are communicating today, right? They're communicating through text. So I use ReviewWave. I mean, I like them. And we will communicate with them, give them reminders to come in for their appointments. If we have a workshop coming up, if we have an evening of wellness, we'll use that, right? So that'll be something that we'll use. Of course, we have Infusionsoft. We have our own IP stuff as well that we've created internally to communicate. Zoom is another way to do it. Facebook, we have private groups that we have that we're using. We're using, of course, Instagram. Like everybody else, you're just staying in the loop and communication with everybody. I mean, I'll do some, Facebook live shows. I'll do all different types of things. I'll take patient testimonials. We'll do our workshops live. We'll do me on TV sometimes live. We'll do cooking demonstrations live. We'll do all different types of things, So it all comes down to the individual. But yeah, I mean, I love technology. The other technology that I love, not just to communicate with my patients, but this is to communicate with my own internal team, is there's a lot of different project management softwares out there, but I like Basecamp 3. I use that as a project management, but what we do is we'll create a scrum, so to say, where we all come together. We'll meet on whatever the tasks are at hand, and then everybody will go with it. And then we'll have a hill chart. And on the hill chart, there'll be a line in the middle, and one will say figuring it out. The other one will say making it happen. And we'll see exactly where everybody is on either figuring it out or making it happen. And every single week we give them new assignments, and then until we complete the complete outcome that we're looking to reach. So it's another great technology that's out there if you know how to use it properly.
I love it. And it kind of makes me want to jump off the scripted conversation with you a little bit and ask you, what do you think? I know we were talking technology, but what do you think is the most important thing to happen in chiropractic over the past 10 years?
Can you repeat that? I'm trying to clarify that question.
So we talked about where we see chiropractic going in 20 years from now.
Yeah.
What have we seen being the most impactful thing to happen to chiropractic in the past 10 years?
Okay. So, in the last 10 years, I mean, that's such a loaded question. What has been the most impactful thing in the last 10 years? Well, I can tell you what's been disimpactful.
Okay.
What's been disimpactful is that there's definitely a separation of minds, where they're trying to bring medicine into chiropractic, which I don't think has any place. What I do think is impactful is that we're starting to see some of us unite and come together to really take a stand. And I know some that are that my group, a tribe of people who are making a stand so that we can actually step up and defend chiropractic and be there just like our founding fathers have, whenever somebody comes in there to try to, bring in the wrong type of message. Right. So I think that's the best answer I can give you at this moment.
No, I think it's important because there is a lot that has gone awry, but I think we are on a course correct. And I think that there are more people in passion than ever that want to find unity within the profession.
That's right.
Want to bring brotherhood and sisterhood and fellowship together.
Be a band of brothers and sisters coming together.
Yeah, and I think that that's really where I was going with the question, because most people will say the most impactful thing to happen in chiropractic over the past 10 years is technology.
Yeah.
It's Facebook Lives, it's Instagram, it's creating, content for people, it's podcasting. Like everybody wants to think about where
it's all here. This is it, right? This is all chiropractic needs. I mean, they're right here, right? You can be anywhere in the world, and if you got, you're good.
I love
That's
that.
So tell us some books that you're in the middle of reading right now. Do you listen to any other podcasts? And what are some of your hobbies? What do you do for fun?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, here's a great book for people to read if you haven't read this one right here. The On Purpose Person. Awesome book. It was given to me as a gift from a buddy of mine, Dr. Pete Camiola. And it's an awesome book. If you're looking for a business book, another business book other than mine, here's another one, right? It's called Traction, right? And it's by Gino Wickman. And this book is awesome. I mean, it's kind of like the Bible of learning business, right? If you don't know business, it's an awesome book, right? Scaling Up is another great book. Here's another great book right here. This is one of my friends. She wrote this book. It's called Find a Fab, right? She's awesome. Her name's Lisa Lieberman Wang. She's awesome. And actually creating a relationship program with her. She's awesome. She's awesome because it's needed. It's needed. I can tell you that just from speaking to a lot of people. Relationships are a big issue, especially for chiropractic couples, right? Especially for chiropractic couples. And it's awesome stuff. And then, hey, here's my book again, right? It's a great book to read. And as far as podcasts, I mean, there's too many to name, I mean, there's just some great ones, but I'll tell you right now that everybody should be listening to Jim Chester. That's for sure.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
The thing is that there's so much value that we share at the tail end of these episodes, because I know that a lot of people are looking for the next great read. They're looking for what influencers are paying attention to.
Yeah.
Looking for what you are reading and listening to, because they're going to catch a gold nugget from you and you're going to change the trajectory of their future, because now they're doing something that's positive and that they're going to actually get something that's going to feed their intellect, but it's also going to feed their skill sets. And that's one of the things I love most about doing these interviews is building that relationship, like you said.
Yeah.
Because now I used to joke around. I go, imagine this. The doctor's picking his kid up from soccer practice at 3 p.m. on a Friday. They see my call coming through. Whose call are they going to take? Yeah, they're going to pick my call up because I built a relationship with them, because I paid interest to them. I paid attention to them. I asked them to talk about themselves, and I gave them a spotlight and a showcase to tell people about what makes them amazing, unique, and awesome. Then we got a chance to share that story with so many people. And the impressions that we make because of this are going to be long-standing. And the people that get the information from you that are able to now charge forward with the right book, or maybe they're listening to Chiro Hustle now that they weren't before, now they're going to have a resource. And I think that that's the thing is we have this technological age that we're in. We talked about it many times during this episode, but we are at this technology age that we have too many decisions, like you said also. We have too many choices with podcasts. What do we focus in on? Well, I think that getting influencers like you to say, hey, if you just do the right thing, you'll get more opportunities. If you get the opportunity to do it, learn it and don't fail at it. And if you do fail at it, learn how to not fail at it.
Yeah.
So fail forward and learn how to fly.
It's like what I tell my girls, I mean, I have 3 children, right? And we had this conversation the other day, and I said, what does fail stand for, right? And I've told them this before. My one daughter had it. My other daughter didn't have it quite, she's a little younger, so it just took her a little bit of time. And she was teaching my other daughter. She goes, listen, fail stands for first attempt in learning. It's okay if you get knocked down, because when you get knocked down, which way you're looking? You're looking up, so you can only go one way, right? You're gonna go up, right? And I got my 9-year-old telling my 7-year-old this, and it was awesome, right? I mean, it really was, and another thing that I always like to teach my children is don't react, respond, right? Don't react, respond. It's like, you've heard this, I'm sure before, but E plus R equals O, right? So it's the, whatever the event is, plus the way that you react or respond is going to equal the outcome. So don't react. If you don't react, you take the power away from it completely, right? And if you respond, right, you think about it, you think it through, and then you give a response, then you can get the outcome that you want. And it's really simple. People just begin to do more of that, they'll be able to get the results that they're looking to get in life.
One of the things that you said there, I was driving yesterday and I do these like little voice memos when I'm driving.
Yeah.
I save them to my notes. And it says, let's switch from evidence-based chiropractic to outcome-specific chiropractic. And I think that if we looked for less evidence but more outcome, then we would have less proof of the people that are trying to discredit chiropractic. And with outcome, everybody gets better when they get adjusted. Yeah. And if we just focus more on the outcome specific, then we'd have a better results driven, arena rather than say, hey, show me your long hand division. Well, I can't get inside the body. I can't show you how the synapses of this endorphin and this chemical reaction is going to happen with the chemistry of life in this person, because now I'm removing the interference from their life. Well, there's no evidence in that except for the body heals.
But look, it's the power from within the body that heals, right? It's the power from within the body that has the cancers go away, has the migraines go away, has the digestive systems get better, has the cut on the skin heal. It's the power from within. Chiropractic is the vehicle of it, right? And I always say it's not chiropractic that ever fails. It's the chiropractor that may, right? Because the power from within is within it, right? It's running within it. And as long as that interference is gone, the doctor can do exactly what it does best, and that's heal, right? So I think that we're aligned when, with that for sure, right? And we got to stop chasing symptoms or looking to make claims that, hey, look, when you come in, you're going to overcome this. We just know that, look, your body's going to run better without interference, right? It's a simple thing. Is your body going to run better with more interference or without interference, right? You always have people say this too. It's like, why do you go to a chiropractor? Why do you go to a chiropractor? Well, look, my chiropractor is one of the doctors, right, on my health and wellness team. He checks to see how the communication between my brain and my heart, my lungs, and my liver, my gallbladder, and it's all communicating right through my spinal cord, right? How well that's running. Why? Who checks yours? Simple. Who checks yours? Well, I don't know. Who does check mine? Nobody. Well, that's why you should be going. You got to have somebody on your team that can check it for you, right? That's it.
Amen.
Simple.
One of the favorite things that you said during this interview was your 9-year-old telling your 7-year-old that if you fall down, make sure you fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And that's one of Luke's favorite quotes by Les Brown. So let's talk last thing. I know Luke's going to ask you for some resources here shortly, but What are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
Oh, what do I like to do? Well, I love spending time with my wife, right? I just love connecting. We connect every single morning. We connect every night. We have some deep conversations, right? Being present. That's what's fun for me. It's whatever situation I'm in is being present. Not being on this thing looking down the whole time, but when I'm with somebody, I want to be present. That's fun for me. Playing with my children, doing things, getting involved in whatever they're in. Like right now, I was just at my daughter's, wax exhibit, right? And you had to hit a button, and all of a sudden she came to life, and she was Walt Disney, right? Which is really cool. And everybody would keep going around and keep pressing the kids' buttons and keep going over and over and over again. That was fun for me. Going to the beach, I love to do that. I love to travel. I love to read and come together with my wife, right? Like Crucial Conversations, like we read that book together, right? It's a great book, and we come together and we talk about that. Other takeaways are, we do something where we'll get together once a week and we'll talk about all the stuff that needs to be talked about family life and all those factors. But the rest of the time when we're home, we're not having that conversation about regular family stuff. Like I'll be walking by my wife and I'll whistle at her, and I'll tell her how beautiful she is, things like that. We keep it going, and that's what it's about. And all the heavy stuff that happens at what we call coffee breaks, which I actually learned that statement from a friend of mine, Dr. Stephen Franson. And, we'll get together and we'll talk about whatever needs to be talked about as far as related to family stuff, right? If it's something that's really quick, then it is. But if it's something that's a deeper conversation, that's where we'll do that. But those are the type of things that we do. I mean, we're traveling right now. We're going over to Israel. I may be opening up another SprintSet Energizing weight loss system in Jerusalem. Out there. So I'm taking a trip with my entire family. We're going to Jerusalem. And then in Jerusalem, we're going to Israel. We're going to enjoy entire Israel. We're going to go see some family that we have out there as well. We're going to go to Jerusalem. We're going to go to the Dead Sea. We're going to go over to the Red Sea, down in Eilat area. We're going to cross over into Egypt for a couple of days. We're going to go to Cyprus. We're going to go enjoy. My wife's got family in Cyprus. We're going to do all the beaches and boating and all that kind of stuff. Then we're going to go to Athens for 2 days, and then we're coming back here. But I mean, I'm possibly, opening up other locations and internationally as well. So these are the type of things that we like to do. I like to make an adventure out of everything that we do in life. So it's a lot of fun.
Cool story.
Yeah.
Well, we've reached the end of this episode. What are some web resources and websites people can go to find out more about you and what you're doing?
Sure. Well, you can go to drroger.com, right? That's one. And that's like my PR stuff. Or you can go to sprintset.com, SprintSet.com. And that's about my weight loss. If it's a provider, they can click on and they can see if we can accept them to become a licensed provider. And if it's somebody who's looking to just, losing the weight and keeping it off and balance, working on balancing out hormones and detoxifying, they can go to sprintset.com. Or if there's somebody who wants to come in for chiropractic, which is where I'd like them to just go to drsahoury.com. So that's DRSAHOURY.com. And if they want to have a conversation with me, somebody who wants to just talk to myself, they could text message 201-265-0555 and just put the words Dr. Roger in there. That's DRROGER, and I can set up a conversation with them.
So cool, man. I love that you have so many resources for people to reach out to you. It's the whole collection that makes us whole as people. So it's really cool to see that you have so many resources for people out there. At this point, I know Luke's like, hey, it's time to wrap it up. Is there anything that we haven't asked you that you would like to share with our audience today?
Yeah, I do. Learn to love your partner in life, and learn to love yourself. And it starts with to learning you, right? To understanding yourself and loving you. And if you haven't read the 5 love languages, learn them and know how you operate. And then from there, learn your partner in life's love languages and learn your children's love languages so that you can really have a life that's filled with true love. So that's how I'd like to end that.
I love that. So thank you for sharing with us today. Luke and I over here at Chiro Hustle just want to say thank you once again and have a great rest of your day, okay?
Thanks, brother. Love you guys.
All right. We'll see you next time, Roger.
Rock on, bro.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.